What's up, everyone? It's Mike,
Molly.
and another episode of On the DownLO. So here we go.
What are we talking about today?
Since we have, we've gone through the whole sports thing with our kids, all three of them. I think that's something we should talk about. Even I played in the past and how different it is now. Like the potential of a lot of, Hmong players, and how different it was for me when I was playing, and now how me as a parent, how different it is for me to see that as a parent and the support.
Wait, can we go back though?
What?
You were a really competitive person.
Yes, I was.
So, what sports did you play? Why did you choose those sports?
I was good.
What were you lacking in
Okay. I was
for
good.
those sports?
I was good in all sports. Obviously, I played
All
basketball.
sports. Okay.
I didn't get to play football. I wanted to really bad, which I should have played. But I do know how to play football. I can play basketball, football, soccer. Obviously, I played basketball throughout, my school years, young. And obviously, I mean, when I hit, was it middle school? I mean, everybody just outgrew me, I was short.
You're my
Everybody
short
was just,
king. You're my
way
short
too
king.
tall. So I knew that wasn't a sport for me to follow. But the one sport that I did was soccer. That was what I was really, really passionate about. Um, Man, I played indoor, and then I got onto, you know, my Hmong tournament team. So that was, Ground Force Club 29. Yeah, those were the good old days, 90s to early 2000s. Those are the fun days. But yeah, I mean, I was very competitive. Nobody, I had to win all the time. There was no losing, no second place. It was only first place for me. And, sometimes when we fell short, it hurted a lot. So,
So, the interesting thing about this that I just want to call out the dualities or more the dichotomies of this is that I grew up in a home where my parents did not push any kind of athletic anything. My brother, Ju Sing Sai, is probably the only one that really played sports. Well, Gomong played, he didn't play, but he was a part of the swim team. My mom and my dad forced him to be kind of thing, and he just kind of saw it through. My brother did, Ju Sing Sai did soccer, and then he also did football. He did football for 1 year. And yeah, so for me and my two younger sisters, though, I made it to the cheerleading team, and my dad was like, absolutely not. 古顿菜一起赶我的歌 like so I never was in any kind of academic or athletic sports at all. It was always my parents always focused on academics, and so it's interesting to come across and to hear Mike's stories of how much he played sports. But then, would you say that you lacked the academic support and focus when you were growing
um,
up?
up to a certain point, yes, because I wanted that more than I wanted school. And, like I was limited too. So
What do you mean by that?
what I mean by that is like, okay, because I was in the 220 program, and I went from North South Milwaukee all the way out to the lakefront area, Cudahy. That's where I went to school for a long time. And I could only play the sport where it had a late bus to take us home. Because anything after, I believe, is 4:30, 4:45, then you would have to find your own ride. And like football and basketball were those sports. Even though I wanted to play it, like my parents weren't going to drive all the way out to Cudahy to come pick me up. Not just that, but I mean they were working, so I mean they got out late too. So I'd be sitting at school probably by myself in the parking lot until like 7 at night, before they come pick me up. But yeah, so soccer was the only thing that was within that time frame where I can stay to practice and yet catch the bus to go home without, you know, my parents having to come pick me up.
But when you were playing sports and you were like really active when you were younger, it wasn't so that you could get scholarships. It wasn't so that you could go to college though. Like your focus on playing sports back then was more because you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I wanted to be the best. You know, I wanted to be the best at where I was, like in my school. I wanted to be the best. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, like I didn't. All I cared about was sports at that time.
Okay, so let's shift the conversation a little bit to the core of today's topic, which, as if you guys have not seen yet, we are going to be hosting a fundraising event for our middle child, Tyson, who is in football. He is coming up in he's going to be a seventh grader. And so South Milwaukee's, did you know, fun fact, South Milwaukee football is actually ran through the rec department. It is not through the school district itself. So they require fundraising. And so one of the things that we want to do is to get a jump start on that. And this is what really, sparked the conversation for today's episode of, let's talk a little bit about sports and specifically where it was in the Hmong community to where I think we're headed. And I would love to hear a little bit more of, like, let's just go back for a minute. I felt like Hmong sports back then, when you think about sports, it really is just July 4th. I feel like that was what we had. There wasn't anybody that was like really out there. That we didn't have Suni Lee back then.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, especially, me being on the Hmong soccer team, that was like our goal, was to go win July 4th. And, that was it. I felt like we were not really geared, at that point, evolving towards being professional athletes until now. Like nowadays, I mean, you got a lot of good young kids in the Hmong community that can go pro and probably will be going pro soon. So
There's a lot of
there's a
potential.
big jump from when I used to play to now. And those guys are getting better and better and better. So, hopefully soon we'll see a lot of our Hmong athletes in the Olympics, in the major leagues, whether if it's basketball, soccer, football, I think it's gonna happen soon.
Yeah, yeah. Um, okay, so let's get a little controversial. Would you ever allow Tyson to play in Hmong sports? Hmong
No,
tournaments?
no, I will not.
Why not?
Because of the injuries and because of the poor sportsmanship that, I've seen over the years, and knowing that you know how that shit is at the tournament, right? When
Qingdao.
yeah, when you're whooping someone's ass, they're gonna try to fucking do everything they can to get you disqualified, to hurt you, whatever it is. Because that happened to me. Okay, that happened to me. We went to July 4th. I played for the Colorado team, and we were in the quarterfinals. We went up against the team that hosted the tournament, July 4th, Minnesota, and we were whooping their ass. It was 3-1. The game was almost done. If we won that, we would have went into the semis, and that would have been our year. Like I said, I played for Colorado that year. So, sure shit, we got into a fight. Got into a fight because they started playing dirty on, our Brazilian player, and they couldn't do nothing with him. He scored all 3 goals. So they knew that they had to take him out of the game. And then, we got into a fight, and yeah, both of us got disqualified. So that's how that went. But yeah, because of that bullshit, and knowing how that sport is and how Hmong people are, I'm not gonna let my son play ever. I mean, if I catch his ass on the field, I'm dragging his ass off the field. So
You
that's just how
know,
it is.
and one of the things that Mike and I, another topic that we want to have a separate conversation on is just in just Hmong community and the way that there are moments when we come together, we're really strong as a community, but it's okay shinzu na within the community and kaku lo lahai de lo shipana. We're not the greatest. We can learn a thing or two from the Black community because they hold each other down. So kudos to them from that perspective. But not to say that Tyson playing with South Milwaukee, or if he was to make it to being a Badger or whatever, isn't going to face those kinds of hostile interactions. It's just unfortunate because you have seen way too many situations in the Hmong sports community that is just we're as parents, we're never going to allow our child to be exposed to something that's going to be the detriment to his future. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit too about now that you and I have Tyson. Well, and let me just say, I know you guys are probably like, oh, you guys talk a lot about Tunsana, right? But where's your oldest and where's your youngest in this? And Madden and Al bring their own beauties to the world and to the community, or to our family. And Madden. The thing about Madden, okay, so let me just say this. The thing about Madden is he actually, if he had the heart and the drive that Tyson had, he would be better at sports.
Yes. He's way more patient. He with patience comes his learning. He understands it better. He understands, how to do it quicker because he's patient about it. But he doesn't have the heart.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played soccer when he was young. And so has Brielle and Tyson. They've all three played. He does it, and then you can see his potential, but he tends to say do it just for that one time, and then he'll stop.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to play no more.
He's what they call a try-hard. Okay. Madden is our try-hard. Whatever he does, he will do his absolute best at it, but it doesn't last. He has a very short attention span on things like sports. He'll do it. Like last year he did football. He's faster than Tyson. He will break through that line like he's on D-line. And he will break through that O-line on his opponent's team and get to that quarterback so fast. But he doesn't enjoy football.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting because when you see your child actually have the patience and the skill to do something, but he doesn't have the heart, as parents, I feel like that's a bigger challenge because we can see what he can be and what he can do for himself. But if he doesn't want it, then I feel like Mike and I's parenting style, we don't force them because otherwise they're going to hate it. Right. So I feel like that's the one thing. And I'll be honest, that girl, she is me through and through. She picks the sports with the best looking outfits. She wants to do all of the frilly girly things. So she loved gymnastics. She was actually the best at gymnastics, I would say. But she liked it because of the outfits that she got to wear, all the different gymnastic outfits. We tried cheerleading. She loved cheerleading for the cute little outfits as well. That the girl is for that sport simply to get the outfits out of it. But to say that, I mean, she's pretty beastie though as a girl.
She is.
She's
got,
built like Mike.
The broad shoulders.
Yeah.
She's strong.
I always say, Al, you just take my face and you plaster it onto Mike's body. That is my daughter. That is my daughter. My poor daughter's got broad shoulders,
they say
big thighs, big calves, big feet, big arms, big hands.
Hey, you know what they say? In Hmong, they say, the two parents, right, when they have kids, whatever.
It's not true.
Whatever parent the kids looks like, that means that parent loves the other parent more. So
it's not true.
I win.
Whatever. Okay. Anyway.
So I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Growing up, soccer was my thing. This is a story because when I was young, I lived this experience through Tyson, which was wrong, which was what somebody should have never done. So he went to go try out. Was his last year?
Yeah, this past summer.
This past summer. This is his first time going out, being seen by different clubs in soccer. He went to go try out for 2 clubs, and he got Premier offer. All right, so
explain what Premier is in case people
Premier
don't know.
is a top traveling team you can be for that club, where you're going to be traveling everywhere to go play in tournaments and other Premier teams, right? So the best you can get. And man, I was so happy, because I was like, yeah, this is everything I wanted. Like my son's doing it. And I knew the potential he had because, he's a big boy, and being Asian and being one of the tallest kids there and, most athletic, I was like, yeah, this is probably gonna be good for him. But little did I know that he wanted to play football instead, so like all the time and scheduling and everything and pushing things to the side and buying new
Yes.
gear, gas, because we had to drive all the way down to like, like Racine and
All the way out to Pleasant Prairie, y'all.
yeah,
That's a drive. It don't matter if I mean we're over here in South Milwaukee, but man, that drive is still far.
yeah. So he got the offer. The guy running that club called me and asked me if my son is willing to take that offer for a premier position. I told him, I said I talked to him, but I'm letting you know right now that we're also going to a different club and we don't know if they're gonna, give him offer or not. So they sent their offer already. And then we didn't do nothing because we wanted Tyson to try for this another club. And he got an offer there too. So he had 2 days to make a decision. And the second day, he already told his mom that he don't want to play soccer and he wants to play football. So he finally sat down with me in my living room and told me that he said, Dad, I don't want to play soccer. Like my heart dropped. It was like a dagger to my heart because, it's something that I wanted for him more than what he wanted. So then he told me, he's like, Dad, I want to play football. I said, I mean, at this point, if that's what you want to play, go ahead. At first I was very like, man, you should have just took this offer.
You have to. You're
But
playing
I
it.
did.
You're
I
playing
was,
it down. You were fucking pissed.
yeah, I
You
was
were like,
pissed. I was
you
mad
were
at him,
livid. You were
and
mad. You were
I said some mean
disappointed.
things to him. I
You
was very
you
disappointed.
tore that poor kid down. Like you tore his confidence, and you like. And I understand as a dad, again, this conversation of like when you see a potential, when you see your child's potential, nobody, it as a parent, nothing burns the inside of you more than you knowing and seeing the potential of your child. So I understand. I'm not saying I understand it, but I think that you are playing down to our listeners how pissed off you really were.
Yes, I was very pissed off. I was super mad,
Like you made him
very
cry.
angry. Yeah,
And my son don't cry.
I said some things to him
Tyson don't
and he
cry.
cried. So I was like, and then after that, gave it a couple Gave it a couple days. My wife Molly's sitting here talking to me about it, and then, I went to him and told him that if you want to play football, that's fine. I'll support you, but you need to give it 100%. So yeah, I mean that's how he became who he is today. Um,
You live and you learn,
yeah.
right? As parents, right? We're not perfect. But here's the one thing that, okay, in case you guys are not familiar with what I do in my business, I am a coach, which essentially means that I know how to ask specific questions to help my clients to advocate for the growth of their business, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that's the core of it. And I found myself stuck in between what Mike wanted for Tyson for being a part of this competitive club and what Tyson wanted for himself. And naturally, for me, I understood where Mike was coming from because it was. I mean, the tryouts weren't just a one-time thing. It was like
It was
two,
tough.
3
It
days.
was hot. It was
And we
3
was
days a
driving back
week.
and forth. Like we
Yeah.
had to rearrange our work schedule to get him there and all that stuff. He was supposed to go up north to spend the summer with my parents. We delayed that so that he could just be down here. And so like it was a whole family affair to just kind of like sync up schedules and whatever. But it got to a point where I could see it in my child's eyes. And there's something about me, and I don't know why, maybe because I'm their mom, but all three of my kids have a much easier time communicating with me than they do with Mike. And so at that moment in time, I could feel it. Like, like you can feel your child, and I knew that he didn't want to do this. I knew it. And, so at that moment in time, I could feel it. Like, you know, you can feel your child, and I knew that he didn't want to do this. I knew it. I knew it. And I told Mike, I'm like, you need to just talk to him. You have to listen to him. Tyson was really reluctant to even sit down with Mike and tell him, Daddy, I don't want this. Like, I don't want to play soccer. Yeah, I know I got on the team, because he was so afraid of disappointing his dad. And I feel like that is one of the things that, as especially Hmong parents, we do for our, like what my parents did, what a lot of our parents' generation did, the older generation, is I feel like they meant well, but they put so much pressure on us to be somebody, to do something, because they felt like that was the route that we should be going. And they didn't really honor who we were and what we wanted and what our true strengths with and our passions. And yeah, I will absolutely say that is a millennial way of thinking, but it is serving our kid right now. And so I joke around with Mike all the time and I say, it's funny, isn't it funny how you didn't even want him to play football, and now he is the sparkle in your eye.
Yes,
he's your superstar. And I joke around with Mike all the time. And hell yeah, I do. I put salt in that wound, because as a mom coming to defense of my child and trying to have your husband understand that he does not want this, and then your husband tearing him down in front of you, yeah, it hurt me. Yeah, it got me angry. So nenu no, gu tu tu play football lo. Nu ma ne cow can no hai there. Oh, nu tu ma hai mu hai no. Why? You hai de ge chi tian nu play tie ge tu ka chi lai lo ma.
It's not being kanu, okay?
Well, whatever.
It's promoting him, and so he is visible.
At the end of the day, you hai de ge tu chi ka nu wa tie ge tu chi mo chi lo.
He would have done it regardless. I just helped make his skit.
How would that have happened if you didn't support him?
I would have supported regardless as his father. I would have supported regardless, because I'm his dad. But I'm not saying he wasn't good in football. He played flag football, and his team went undefeated and whooped some ass. But I didn't think he was going to continue playing. And when you go to flag to a full contact padded sport, it's a whole new different game. So yeah, I mean, you can see the what is it? You can see how much he wanted to play in his eyes. Like, you can tell right away that this is. I think he found his niche. I think this is the sport that he's gonna play until he's done.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, whenever that is.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the one thing, though, that you and I've come to an understanding of, and we tell him all the time, and this goes for any of our kids, no matter if it's sports or not. But in the topic of today's episode about sports, I don't want to force my kid to continue doing something if one day he decides that he doesn't. Will it be upsetting? Of course, because of the time, the energy, the financial resources, the commitment, the community, that people are all putting into Tyson, and seeing him live out, hopefully what will be a manifestation of his dreams in being a football player. Yeah, it's going to be defeating, but and disappointing, but I don't think that I would ever hold it against him or guilt him into staying. Would you agree?
Yeah.
When he decides that he's I'm done, this is it for me for football, it's going to be okay, well,
Yeah, another cool thing is I'm actually going to be coaching the D-line and linebackers on his team this year coming up. Hopefully 8th grade too, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
It's been fun working with him on, so it's another thing with this is, it actually worked for the better, because me and him used to butt heads a lot. It was just something with him and me that we butt heads a lot. But this sport has really, bonded us as father and sons in a relationship. So we're super close now. We always joke around and say things, and he always he told his mom that what was it? They rather tell me over you.
They said
because
they didn't say that. They said they see Mike more as a friend, and they see me more as a parent. And while I can appreciate that, I told Mike, I'm as soon as you're in, let's be real, guys, okay? When your kids become a teenager and they see you more as a friend than a parent, that ain't gonna go well for us. That is not gonna go well.
they didn't know how to say it. I think between us, me and you, I think they're probably like, yeah, I think Dad's more of a friend than you are. But they
Why do
probably
you think
said
that?
it,
Why
and
do you
then,
think that's the case?
huh?
Why do you think that they think that?
I think it's because okay, between me and Molly, okay. Of course, Molly's the academic side of things, right? So sports, I'm more involved in, from experience. So I think they hate hearing about academics from their mom because they feel like that is like a teacher parenting thing. And then when they come to me and it's about sports and they have fun, they get to run around, they're free, we can go grab like shit to eat, have a just me and the boys day kind of thing. Like it's just those things, and they're older, so they're at the age where, like, you know, that's what they're looking for.
But you know what though? You really should be the one that's more academic focused though, because you weren't.
I do too. Okay. I always tell them about that. I said, it's like we always say, nobody wants a stupid athlete.
Yeah.
No college wants a stupid athlete. All right. You still got to go and learn how to read plays, read things. You still do that on the field. You got to read your opposite team, right? You got to
Well, it's not
read
even
what
that.
they're
Just
doing.
like simply speaking, like we push the thing about having if you are a Hmong parent and you have a child who is as competitive and athletic as Tyson is, one of the things that we have seen that has helped with his schooling, because leading up to football, he literally gave no fucks about school. Like
Yeah, he
trying to get him to like study, to do his homework, to read a book, like it was pulling teeth. And he's 读个讲要差读起的差的要读到高什么 and he's the type of person that's like, if he doesn't have, he's like Mike, 100%, just like his dad. If there is no, if they don't get nothing in return, they ain't gonna do it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it is a requirement. It doesn't matter if it's because of the laws. It doesn't
It's
matter
gotta
if
be.
that's
It's
the
gotta
rule.
be.
They have to get
It's
something out of it.
it's got to be a pot of gold at the end of that rainbow.
Because if there's no incentive, they ain't gonna do it.
Yeah,
Plain and simple as that.
if there
They,
isn't, fuck that rainbow.
see, nah. Ayo.
Shit, everybody got to win. It's a win-win situation. So
Mate, that's not how life works. Sometimes you
I
have to do
get it.
things
I
without
get
getting
it.
a pot
I
of
get
gold
it.
at the end,
I
okay?
get it.
But I share this all to say, if you have a child like Tyson or, that's like Mike that needs, they are incentive driven. That's how they are. They don't know how yet to internalize self-gratification. They don't know how to find self-accomplishment through just the effort and the journey. They are a winner through and through, and they hate losing. They are sore fucking losers. That's how they are. Okay. If you need them to be better at school, that's the one thing that completely changed Tyson's mindset about school 180 degrees. And one of the things, and this is what Mike is referencing, is I always said to Tyson, if you like, what do you want to be? Like, if all the stars align and God gave you exactly what you wanted, what do you want? He's like, I want to play in the NFL. Okay, great. If you want to play in the NFL, how do we get you to the NFL? And he told us, he's like, oh, okay, well, I have to go to college so that I can actually, I'm like, how do you get to college? Well, I have to do good in school so I can get to college so I can get to the NFL. Yeah. How are you going to get to college? No school is going to give you a football scholarship no matter how good you are. And no matter how good you are, it doesn't matter. You could be the best kid in the whole state in that specific position. If you are a dumb ass student, they are not going to give you any kind of scholarship. And the reason why I say that is because I went to Oak Creek and we had, I don't remember his name. He was one
He
of
was
the,
an O-line, I believe.
yes, big, black. He was so unbelievably good. Madison Scouts came to watch the homecoming game. And I remember after homecoming was over, there's, of course, it's high school. People were having there was rumors going around that he didn't get his full ride. And it was like, yeah, it wasn't because you're not good. It's because you're great. I mean, all he needed was a 3.0. And if he could have got his cumulative, it's not even, we're talking cumulative, okay? cumulative GPA to be a 3.0, he would have gotten that full ride, football scholarship to Madison, and he would have been a Badger. And I tell Tyson that all the time. I'm not asking you to be a straight A student, okay? That's not how Tyson's brain works. Madden's brain works that way. Madden is like me. He's academically focused. If he just tries, he's good, okay? Tyson is not. So finally, when we connected the dots for him, like, if this is what you want to do, the doors that's going to help you open that is through your grades. And yeah, you can get a decent scholarship at a 3.0, but we're not doing that. I need you to aim for a 3.5 or higher, so more opportunities open up for you for different schools. What we want is for that day where it's your commitment day, that you've got several offers on the table right there for you. And our jobs as your parents is to create opportunity for you, to have as many doors lined up for you so that when you're ready, you get to pick the decision, the choice that is best for you. And I feel like like he gets it now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he gets it. He gets it. He gets every piece. It's almost like drawing up what is it called? Like a projector, like plan where you got to hit this to hit this to hit this to hit this. So
yeah,
he understands it.
Yeah, we reverse engineer that, right? Yeah, yeah, and it is hard though. It's hard because you to be honest, when you have a child who plays sports and they have this big dream of wanting to make it big, you spend more money on that kid. You spend more time on that kid. You discipline them more.
Yeah, like he's got a lot of camps coming up for the summer, and he's excited for it. I just saw on social media a good friend of mine, one of my clients. He plays for the Milwaukee Waves, does a lot of big things out there. So they actually have Eddie Lacy coming in and doing a camp. So Tyson's gonna just sign up and he's gonna go join that. So he's gonna represent, and obviously he's gonna be at the UWM one with Jaden Reed. So, and then the Wisconsin one, but for his age group, it's not what he wants. It's not competitive enough. He wanted to be, with the high school kids, and I don't know if that's available for him.
No, not yet. But
So
we're
gonna have to hold off on that.
Yeah. First thing for that summer going into freshman year, he's going to be at that Badger camp for sure. So yeah, I hope that you guys have gleaned some insight to just a little bit of our parenting style, and also, let us know what resonates with you, what stuck out to you. I think, one of the biggest things, which as I shared, I'll leave us all with this, is Mike and I and Tyson, we need your support. We need the community because, I saw a quote that I love. It takes a village to raise a child. It takes a community to help him see his dream come true. And I really do feel that is exactly where our son's at. So more to come on his merch, more to come on what's next on that.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys all next week.